IATA for telling my daughter she needs to pay rent. I, 50F, told my daughter, 24F, she needs to pay rent. She got out of college in February and struggled to find job until October. I supported her during the job hunt and she's been living back home rent-free. I was excited for her for finally finding the job, especially when it is surprisingly well-paying. She told she won't get paid until late this month. I said it was fine, but she still needs to pay rent. The other day she told me she planned a trip with her friends and was saving for plane tickets. I reminded her again she still needs to pay rent, as it felt like she's trying to avoid rent so she could save money for trip. She told me she'd pay the rent, but deducting her credit card bill. Apparently she wanted me to pay her credit card bill first then keep the rest as rent. I told her it was unacceptable. She rolled her eyes and tried to walk away. In the heat of the moment, I said some unfortunate things. At the end of the fight, she finally agreed to pay the rent and her own credit card bill. My daughter has become extremely distant since. She started working overtime almost all week. I tried to talk to her. I even told her she can keep her original plan, but she just kept fixating on the things I've said, either ignoring my message or telling me how I've misunderstood her and made her felt bad. My husband thinks I'm the because he thinks our daughter was already stressed and I kept reminding her for rent money she didn't have. Demanding rent in a fight made me the villain. Today she handed me a stack of cash, rent and credit card bill included. I tried to tell her the money will be in a family savings account. She rolled her eyes and said she doesn't care. She then cut up the credit card I was managing the bills for. My husband gave me a "I told you so" look. I honestly don't think I deserve any of these treatment. I love my daughter very much, but I can't help but wonder if my husband was right. IATA. You'll clarify the Christmas present part. We charged it on installment, so she knew how much it cost. She's still entitled to use the credit card as she liked. She paid as much as she could with her part-time jobs. Like I mentioned in one of the replies, she never made that much. She barely paid any part of that iPad. It's mostly on her own food and clothes. My husband and I covered the rest. They're a rent debt. Nothing can't be paid off with her income. You'll clarify the Christmas present part. We charged it on installment, so she knew how much it cost. She's still entitled to use the credit card as she liked. She paid as much as she could with her part-time jobs. Like I mentioned in one of the replies, she never made that much. She barely paid any part of that iPad. It's mostly on her own food and clothes. My husband and I covered the rest. They're a rent debt. Nothing can't be paid off with her income. More info if she doesn't want to pay rent. She doesn't have to. We want her to contribute to the family. Based on how much she's making, the amount equal to the broader city average rent is what me and my husband decided on. She can afford it. She isn't struggling. This will be my last update on the Christmas gift situation. So many people seem to be fixated on it. No, we didn't make her pay for it. We charged it on her card, so she knew how installments worked. This was just a rare incident. We have a large sum expense. My husband and I paid it off at the end of each month. She made little money tutoring back in college, and she used the credit card for food and clothes. These were the expenses she actually paid for. And what she made were oftentimes not enough, and I had to cover the extra. The average rent is for a studio apartment in the broader city. As I've mentioned, it's impossible to find a decent rental in this area. There is no comp for it. What do you think about it? Write your comments.